Stop. Listen carefully. Right now, your mind is opening. What I'm about to reveal is not taught anywhere. Most people chase, struggle, and wonder why their desires never come. But there's a method, a robotic technique, that bypasses doubt entirely. You don't need to believe it. You don't need to force it. You only need to persist. I will come to exactly how it works in a moment. So stay with me. Think about how you approach your goals. Usually, people believe they must act hard, push, force results, and constantly worry if it's working. That's the trap. Doubt grows when you're trying too hard. But imagine a different approach. One where you act only when inspiration whispers, and every other moment is calm assumption. You persist quietly, like a code running in the background. That's the first layer of this technique. Let me give you an example. There was a man, Raj. Raj wanted a new life, a career, confidence, stability. He tried everything. Courses, networking, forcing opportunities. Nothing lasted. One day he discovered this method. He assumed quietly, confidently, like a program running automatically. He followed small inspired actions, not pushing, just following subtle cues. Within weeks, doors opened he never expected. The first key is understanding how your subconscious executes assumption without interference. The secret lies in your mind's obedience to assumption. Your subconscious doesn't argue, it doesn't doubt, it doesn't procrastinate. It executes the commands you assume as real. That's why belief is unnecessary. You don't need to convince yourself. You don't need to act endlessly. You only need to assume and persist. Tiny inspired steps align reality. And later, we'll look at exactly how to trigger these inspired steps consistently. Now, imagine the opposite. Trying, stressing, forcing. You're battling reality. You're arguing with your own subconscious. Nothing manifests. Energy leaks. Doubt grows. The robotic technique flips this entirely. You set your reality as done, and it starts executing quietly, invisibly, like a well-written program. This works even if fear or uncertainty appears. The assumption alone rewires the outcome. Here's another example. Priya wanted clarity in relationships. She didn't chase or convince anyone. She didn't force situations. She simply assumed her ideal life was happening. Every inspired nudge a message, a coincidence, a gut feeling she followed. Everything aligned naturally. Within weeks, reality reflected exactly what she had quietly assumed. Timing and persistence are crucial, and I will come to why in just a moment. Think of it like a machine. Input your assumption. Let the program run. No extra effort required. No pushing. No forcing. Only inspired actions when they appear. The universe or your reality executes the code. This is the essence of the robotic technique. It bypasses doubt because doubt cannot override persistence paired with correct assumption. You might ask, what about belief? What about faith? Belief is optional. Doubt is irrelevant. The moment you assume, the process begins. Acting only when inspired accelerates the alignment. That's why this is called robotic. Like a system running commands without hesitation, without emotional interference, without questioning. Your reality responds automatically. Here's a quick experiment you can do today. Pick one desire. Assume it is already real. Visualize it subtly, not in a forced way. Then notice what small inspired action presents itself naturally. Take that action. Stop for everything else. Watch quietly. Reality will move. This method has worked countless times, and every inspired step compounds. I will explain why your attention amplifies results in a moment. Let's talk about persistence. People fail not because their desire is impossible, but because they stop assuming. They wait, doubt, or try too hard. Persistence in assumption is key. Even a tiny flicker of belief is unnecessary if your assumption is steady. You keep it running in the background like a program, and the results appear. It's silent, subtle, unstoppable. Here's another scenario. A man wanted financial stability. He stopped worrying, stopped forcing, stopped comparing himself. He assumed the outcome he desired. When small opportunities appeared, a call, an email, an idea, he followed without overthinking. Months later, Everything shifted, exactly as he had assumed. This is the robotic technique in action. It bypasses doubt by working beneath the surface. Now, a secret most people miss. Timing is irrelevant to the subconscious execution. You might assume, act inspired, and see results immediately. Or it might take weeks. Yet the process is active at all times. You cannot force it, but persistence guarantees that every signal, every cue is noticed and used by your reality system. I will come to one more point soon. Why tiny inspired actions are the glue that connects assumption to manifestation. Without following the subtle cues, the process slows. But if you align fully, inspired actions appear as if by magic, or rather by design. You notice coincidences, nudges, doors opening, and each one feels like confirmation. That's not luck. It's the system executing your assumptions. Consider this. Your mind is like a powerful computer. Inputs are assumptions. Doubt and fear are just background noise, unable to interfere with persistent commands. Inspired actions are the triggers that finalize updates. Once you master this flow, manifestation becomes inevitable. You act, the universe responds, results show, and doubt has no foothold. Here's another example. A woman wanted to move to a better city. She stopped worrying, stopped pushing, stopped convincing herself. Every inspired option she noticed, a message, a suggestion, a new contact, she followed quietly. Within months, she had moved effortlessly. She did not force anything. She did not even fully believe. She only assumed and persisted. The robotic technique bypassed doubt completely. You might be thinking, how do I maintain this without checking constantly? The answer is simple. Observe without interference. Track inspired actions. Follow them, but do not argue with your mind or force outcomes. Your persistence is quiet, confident, unstoppable. Finally, the last layer of this technique. Attention and subtle repetition. Repeating small assumptions daily, quietly, like a system pinging, reinforces the commands. Your subconscious processes it without resistance. You do not need to believe, only to continue. Even when doubt arises, it does not interfere because your assumption runs like a background protocol. So here's a small task for you. Pick one desire, assume it is already real, and notice one inspired action you can take today. That's it. Stop there. Watch the system work. Share in the comments what you assumed and the inspired action that appeared. Your experience might help someone else see the subtle magic in action. Remember, nothing is forced. Nothing is rushed. Your reality responds to persistence, assumption, and inspired action. Doubt is irrelevant. Belief is optional. This is the robotic technique that bypasses doubt entirely. I will come back later in another video with more hidden triggers. But for now, start your practice quietly, consistently, and observe. See how the world begins to respond. See the subtle shifts. This is your reality running the program exactly as it should. See you in the next video.